Okay, so I'm going to present Velociraptor in a modern world and what it means for us at Net-a-Porter. So who am I? I'm Mirela Iclodean, as I found out that in UK my name is Iclodean and it's not Iclodean. Okay, and I'm a Perl developer at Net-a-Porter. We sell that kind of stuff. I think that hat is really, really cool and quite expensive. And what do we do there? So, which of you worked on a monolith, on a Perl monolith? Raise your hands. Come on, raise. I'm pretty sure monolith. So, we there are maintaining a warehouse management system, which is a Perl monolith from, I think, mid-2000, if I'm not wrong. It has like 15 years, Jason? Yeah, I think it's there. So what would you expect? So we are sad that are working on a monolith and we don't have microservices, so it's like we saw yesterday, a poo. So it's sad. So what would you expect when you hear about a monolith that is from 2000? You would expect to see CGI, Apache, and mod Perl. Well, that is not the case with us. We are using PSGI, Black, and Starman. You would expect to see DBI and embedded SQL queries in our code. It's not the case because we are using DBX class. There are still some parts of the code where we still have embedded SQL queries, but we don't touch those that much. And you are expect to see Mason, and I know people don't like Mason that much. We are not using Mason. We are using template toolkit. Perl's built-in OO system. We are not using that. We are fully moved to Moose, and we like Moose. It's quite easy for us to work with. You are expect to see SVN because it's an old application, maybe a crap one, but no, we are using Git. And you would expect to see an old version of Perl, no, like 5.8 or I don't know. Nope, we are at Perl 2.20, and if Ilmar is not here, you're here, it's your fault. We are only at 5.20. No, it's yours. Please. Yeah, so, okay, awesome. So I think we have a good approach regarding this, because imagine a monolith that is on Perl 5.8, and then when they hear a new Perl release, they say, oh my God, we are 20 versions far away back from that. But we are at Perl 5.20, and when we hear that is a new Perl release, we are so happy because we know that there's going to be new features in that we can use, and it's quite cool. And would you expect to see manual releases? So we hop into the box and just put some commands and yum install and yum update on and stuff like that. That is not the case anymore because we automated our deployment process. It was a project that took almost 5 months in our team, but we are there, I think so. So what modern means to us? Modern means agile. And I know most of the people here hate hearing agile. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't adopt it correctly. I don't say that we adopted agile by the book. So what agile means to us? It's our agile. Agile means having visibility. Having visibility on what each developer in our team does. Having visibility on the code that we develop. Having visibility on, I don't know, what you do during the day and what's your approach when you want to fix a task, do a task. Clear stand-up updates. So when I hear someone saying, I'm gonna finish the task tomorrow, I just wanna throw up. You're not gonna finish the task tomorrow, and you're not gonna finish the task in a week. I wanna hear a stand-up update that it says, I'm gonna finish the task tomorrow because I have 3 failures on the Jenkins test and I wanna fix them. If you give clear stand-up updates, maybe some person in the team can hop and help you finish the task. So Also, agile doesn't mean to us having multiple managers. We have a really cool manager that lets us do all the technical decisions, and we can barely feel her presence. She's only there to help us, to unblock us with small things that are not related to us, but technical, it's all in our hands. Fewer meetings. We don't like to go to much meetings. We have our stand-ups that are like at most 10 minutes. We have the sprint planning, and we also have the retros where we try to improve our process there. Keep the task nice and small. We don't want to see people keep developing on a task like forever, and after 2 months or 3 months, they just put the code on the review board, and we are, oh my God, I need to take a whole day just to review his work. And maybe the decision that the person took during that month are not what we want and where we want, in what direction we want to go with our code. And that will block us as a team. That will block our testing, because it's one thing to test a small feature, and it's one thing to test a whole functionality in that monolith. Early on feedback. So we try to put the task on the review board, so we receive feedback as quick as possible. We want to release things on the production, so we can receive feedback from the users as soon as possible. We don't want to keep going with the project and keep going, and when we finally release the project, we realize that no one wants to use it because it's too complicated to use, and maybe it doesn't have the functionality that they need. Avoid bottlenecks. So I heard people or developers saying, "Oh, I don't want to do manual testing. It's not my job as a developer to do manual testing." It's nothing wrong with doing manual testing. It just improves you as a developer, because you get in better touch with the functionality of the system instead of just being the person in the back just writing the code and give it to testers. So in our team, when we see on the board, on the Jira board, that the testing column is full of tickets that need to be tested, when we finish a ticket, we just start picking up testing tickets. And I think that helps us to avoid bottlenecks. So we're not ashamed to do testing. Nothing wrong with that. Code reviews. So our code reviews are open to every single developer in the company. And we start with code reviews when someone submits a technical test. We let all developers do code reviews if they want. So it's their choice if they want to do the code reviews. And we also managed to level up our coding standards, because we always do reviews, we ask for reviews. So if someone just dares to put a ticket that he developed like a month or 2 months, this happens. So these are, I don't know if it's clear, but these are like 53 issues raised on a code that was developed during 2 months. The issues were raised by a colleague of mine, and they were raised in August the 1st. The code is still in review. Even though those were fixed, when he submitted another code review, we raised another 30 issues, and so on. So it's not good having a big task and working always on that. Try to split the task in smaller tasks and work in parallel on them. And also, another thing is just adopting modern tools. So the first thing that we tried to adopt in our huge monolith, it was Vagrant. So when someone joined our team, or I don't know any other team, if you want to set up your warehouse management system on your machine, it took 3 days. Imagine that 10 person join your team, 10 developers, and you need to set up their environment. It took a full month to set only the environment, and God forbid if that box crashed, because you need another 3 days to set up the environment. So with Vagrant, a colleague of ours wrote the Vagrant file in a hack day, if I'm not wrong. Nello? No? Like in a hack day. And now setting up our environment is just 5 minutes. Everybody who joins our team, it just clone the repo, Vagrant up, Vagrant SSH. If you want to destroy the box, just Vagrant destroy, and that's it. Okay. And we also improved this to make it specific for different parameters and stuff like that. So someone gave us the file and we just improved it. We just didn't let it die there. And continuous deployment. So our manual releases were like this. We woke at 5 a.m. in the morning. A taxi come and pick us up. We went to the office. We have one developer, one tester, and one DevOps person to be available for the release, and the developer would do the release. So the developer opened like 10 terminals. He or she needed to run the commands on the first node of the application. If the first node and the release is done, then go and release on the second node. And it took like an hour and a half, an hour-ish, too much. And then we need to do the testing, and the tester just went to do a sanity test, and blah, blah, blah. It was a pain, so only waking up at 5 to go and, to the office and just do a release, it was like nuts. And this was like every 2 weeks. So we had the release every 2 weeks. So now we move to continuous deployment, which is like 4-click releases. We just need to click to release on node 1, then on node 2, then on the service box. So we are almost there. We want to do 1-click release. We want to also release from master, because we didn't want to move straight away and just drop the old release. We need to follow some steps for the tester, for the release management, or I don't know, because we think some of them are just useless, and we try to get rid of it and just try to release daily from master. So we achieved that using Jenkins, using Puppet, using Hera data, and for the rollout, we used Ansible. So we wrote a playbook in Ansible, and when we do the rollout to move from the old boxes to the new boxes that had continuous deployment, we just hit a command from the terminal, hit enter, and it's all automated. So instead of being a pain, just log into the box and see the logs and see what's going on, we just hit the command. The crons and job queues and stuff like that were stopped on the old box, and then we started on the new boxes, and also start the application on new boxes, and we fully moved to the new environment, new continuous deployment environment. So what were the benefits on moving to that? It was a 5-month project. I think it was a pretty difficult one. We worked like fully on that project. So the whole knowledge regarding that project was with Anne in the beginning. She was like the master of it. And during the 5 months, I think every single one leveled up with the knowledge. We all had the knowledge regarding the Puppet class, regarding the configuration. If Anne goes on holiday, like 2 weeks in Malta, we are quite happy to take over and continue doing it. So the benefits was Puppet role and configuration management. In the past, that was with the DevOps, if I'm not wrong. If we have to do to change a config, we had to go to the DevOps and say, oh, put that in the super secret Puppet, then no one have to know about it, only you, and then tell us when it's done so we can do the release and so on. Now it's all in our yard. We wrote a hell of a Ruby code. It's not must to be Perl, but we wrote a hell of a Ruby code to have the Puppet role and to have the configuration ownership. So configuration is done with Hera data. We also improve our alerting system, because in the past we needed to go in the logs and check if something is wrong and why the application is running slow and stuff like that. Now we have the sensor and pager duty. It just alerts us on the phone if something is wrong. I think in the first week that we moved to the new continuous deployment or automated deployment process, we just catch an incident on the production just with these alerts, and people that are using the warehouse management system didn't even realize that was something wrong, but we catch it even without them knowing. So I think that is cool, because you can catch early on bugs and stuff like that. Scalability. So we are able now, we are using load balancer, and we are able to put up web boxes like in 1 day. We only have, I think, the major bottleneck that is now is the firewall rules. But after we fix the firewall rules, we just set up a Puppet role on the box, here our environment, and that's about it. And we have another box, we just put it in the proxy, and that's it. We put like 4 boxes on a DC, and I think we're gonna put 6 next. Yeah. Automated deployments, so no more waking up at 5 a.m. We are doing releases at 11, and maybe we can do it, I think, at what time of the day we want, but we are pretty careful to not do releases on Friday and not at 5 p.m. when we want to go home, and if something goes wrong, we have to stay in the office. So logs. If something, we have 4 boxes, and 1 service box. If it's something wrong on a box, you don't want to. If it's something wrong, you don't know the box where something is wrong, and you need to go and log into the boxes and just check the logs. But now using Splunk and Logstash is no need for that. We got rid of all that headache. Just log into the box and try to figure out on which box is the error. Easy setup for different environments. So this is the warehouse management system. Different system in our company needs to integrate with our system. So for them, it's just a matter of following some Confluence steps, and they have their own environment. They don't need to mess up with our environment. They just can create their own single environment and leave us alone. Okay. So I think it's mission accomplished. So we have a huge monolith that it was a pain to work with, but now we have Vagrant, which is set up in 5 minutes. We have modernity in it, using Mason, DBX class, template toolkit. What else do we use? And no, we don't use Mason, we use Moose. Ta-da! And I think, because I always work on monoliths, it's our job to make it work easy with it. It's not our job to just do the task, because we did a lot of things in our hack days to improve how we work on our warehouse management system. So I think everybody can do it. It's not a must to be a pain when you work on a monolith. You can make it nice and easy, but you need to have the right mindset like we have. So thank you so much. That was about our nice monolith. And another thing regarding TMTOWTDI, when you try to train your juniors, please don't tell them 100 different ways how to do things. Tell them the most easiest way to do a thing, because otherwise you just scare them off. And that's why we don't have juniors here, because Perl is so hard to pick up for them. Just one single way to do it. And then let them discover the TMTOWTDI. Thank you. Bye-bye.